Hey guys, Basil and Will with Grayson Hobby, and guess what just arrived?
This is the new Dynam Meteor. Was it V3 or 17 now at this point?
V3. So what makes this a V3? You have to watch the whole video to find out, or actually just the first couple seconds. If you're new to the channel, Grayson Hobby is a shop located outside of Atlanta, Georgia, where we sell and ship out quads and airplanes and drone parts and everything of sorts. And everything you see on our website is located here in our good old USA warehouse right outside of Atlanta. All right, so what we have here is the new Dynam, and yes, it has a new color, the blue and the reds, and the awesome color. I love this color scheme.
This is actually, okay, so Dynam has a habit of taking the same mold, making a newer version of it, stuff like that, and it's not always bad, you know, it's like one of those things they revamp it, but ooh, big deal. This is probably one of the few jets I've really loved the way the Meteor flew, but I hated the way it looked. It was such an ugly color scheme on it.
We hated it so bad we even came up with our own design for a while.
Yeah, we had our own
which I don't know what happened to that one, but all right, so what's the big hoopla? What's the big deal about this guy?
The big deal on this one is the 12 blade fan count.
12 blades.
It is 12, right?
Yes.
Okay.
70 millimeter 12 blades. Does that mean I can run like 8S, 6S?
No, it's still a 4-cell setup.
No.
We might experiment with that later.
Yeah.
But
so this guy, if you've watched our old video of the V1, I guess it was when we did it. How many blades did the old one have?
It was an old 5-blade fan, and it sounded good like for a 5-blade, but it was loud.
It would still sound like a vacuum.
Yeah, you still had that noisy,
really high pitch,
smell. Yeah.
really long pitch. But we got really fast with that one. We got almost 95 miles an hour.
Something like that. Yeah,
it was close to. We didn't break 100, but it was at the threshold of breaking 100 miles an hour. This guy, I'd be honest, when we were out there flying it, the retracts are louder than the motor.
Ready?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't miss that. Perfect. Yeah. Flies so good.
Are you back off the runway?
Yeah, I'm off the runway.
Yeah,
and that's a good thing. In this
case. Had a very good whoosh sound to it. It sounded really good in the air. The speed, I'd say, was a little less, but the flight times were longer. The amp draw, it had to have been less because the batteries were coming down just cool. They weren't coming down hot, which is typically EDFs are very hard on batteries for the most part.
All right, just came down.
Did a 4-minute, 13-second total flight. The battery in this thing, this is not even like a super high rated battery. Granted, these perform better than they should at that C rating, but 3.8, 3.81, 3.81, 3.82, which we know these are not the most accurate things in the world. But and it's lukewarm.
Oh no, I've seen batteries and chargers hotter than that.
So I want to know what the amp draw. I wish I would have had a watt meter.
A watt meter, yeah. In fact, so what we're going to do here, we're going to add the watt meter on the bench. If I can read it. I am ready. 845. I was looking through the camera.
So we got 57 amps. Oh, guys. Okay, so we are maxing this out. 57.37 amps. And we had, how many? 884, looks like watts. I can't see on that angle, but. Okay, so we pulled a total of 57.37 amps.
What ESC is in there?
This is a 60 amp ESC.
So I don't know about the...
Right on the limit, but it is in the cooling duct. It literally is getting air the whole time.
Won't a higher voltage give you a lower amp draw?
Not with the same motor, not with the same KV.
All right.
But it looked good in the air, it flew good in the air, it had good vertical. The performance was great on it, but I wish it was a little faster, per se. I was really expecting the 12 blade fan count just to put that extra power out, just gobs of power.
On 4S.
On 4 cells.
All right, here it is. I'm going to say 70. 74! Oh my God.
Yeah, it's not.
But you weren't coming, you came at an angle. Back. 82. We were getting up in the 90s with the other one, I remember.
I feel like it's slower, but it's just so quiet.
It's very quiet. 82. So, it's official. Because it says it's continuous, so it definitely is not the same reading. Alright. The only way you get it faster if you come closer to the radar gun. Oh, the Heritage flight, I remember that now. They get the old, the virginal version, and then they get the new modern day version. Into the sun. Every flight we had, we would come down, the battery would be cool, the motors.
And we weren't using expensive batteries. That's another thing with EDFs. I remember getting the highest C rating battery, the most expensive batteries, just tearing through batteries on these jets.
We actually melted off.
Yeah, I've actually desoldered connectors on an ME262 when I was flying it because the amp draw was so high. But this one allowed us to use, we were using 35C Longbow, 3300 milliamp batteries.
Which fits beautifully in here.
Fit perfectly in the battery tray, dropped right in, balanced just right. It was doing really nice linear rolls. Yeah. I wasn't having any issues with CG on it. It was just a dream to fly. I mean, this thing took off, and I literally got like 6 flights in, and it was like, you know, I don't think I even applied any trim to this plane. I literally set it up, straightened everything out of the box, made all throws, and it just tracked true.
And like all our videos when we fly with no gyros, just regular old school, Spectrum receivers you have?
Yeah, I mean, I literally have a dozen of these receivers.
That's a Spectrum AR6200, I think.
Yeah, this was actually my old Meteor on my radio. I happen to have my Spectrum radio with me, and I had my old Meteor set to it because I haven't had a Meteor in over a year. Since we've had all the jumpers and all that, I haven't been using it. And I literally took the receiver that I had from my Meteor, bound on that model still, threw it in that one, and just flew it. And I didn't have to trim anything. It was great. I mean, it was just flew. So
Dynam actually did upgrade the retracts, because we all know if you've been following any kind of thread, Dynam has a notorious
that's been a while though.
But this is actually an upgraded. So our 2.1 had an upgrade in retracts. Now this V3 has an even upgraded version of the retracts.
I would say they're a little noisier, but they seem to be a little quicker, a little more. I would say overall, it's probably the reliability is going to be as good as it's going to get for electric retracts.
Yes. So I would definitely recommend this to anybody looking for a affordable EDF jet. This flies beautifully, it tracks perfect, no issues, no grumbling by. All right, last flight of the night.
Famous last words. Bye, Meteor.
This does fly good though.
It's been flying very well.
I was very impressed.
Okay.
Very impressed. And more impressive is that thing has not moved at all yet tonight.
I like the fact that I was literally able to take my receiver out of my old Meteor and my radio settings, everything was there, and just slap it in this and go. I didn't do any trimming.
No, it doesn't.
All I did was mechanically trim it and it's done. So yeah, it's a.
How are those retracts?
A little noisy, but not bad.
They're nice. They look like scaled. Are they slower than the old ones?
No.
Or That's right. When you were flying earlier, you could actually hear the retract over the main motor.
Yeah, they sound a little dry. I guess they're not putting the pace and stuff like they used to on them.
All right, so I guess this is right before. When's golden hour? Or
happy hour? The bar? Or they're
grumpy Will at the field getting it together.
No, I was excited to fly this one. I was really happy I got to fly this one before everybody.
All the customers who come in, they love this prototype we had. And
guys, if you've watched, if you have any questions on the building of it, any tricks, tips, and all that, if you go back and watch our old Meteor review, I go over some of the little tips on building it.
Basically, it's the tail section you have to worry
about. The elevator on the tail section, cutting the foam away where the wires come through from the wing to the fuselage to make the wire access a little easier to put the wires through, and the ducts here to either silicone RTV, epoxy, etc., or tape. The ducts here, that way they don't try to close themselves while you're flying. It'll help your speed and power a little bit.
Yeah. All right, so there you have it. The V3 from Dynam, the V3 Meteor from Dynam, 12 blades, runs on 4S, but I think if you're going to be adventurous, I think you could probably run 5S on here.
Possibly, as long as your amp draw's down, guys. This is a perfect candidate for an aftermarket motor and a 6-cell setup. All day, every day.
You're having a perfect motor in there.
It flies good, but I want to say this thing, I really think we have the capability of getting a very fast, well over 100-mile-an-hour jet with a 6-cell setup with an aftermarket motor.
All right, so next video we're going to put a 6L in this one and let you know how much smoke we'll get. Bye.